Who is the best male character who isn't a tough badass?
Milo Thatch. From Atlantis. Dude is not a traditional badass, but he is heroic because of how strongly he sticks to his morals and value system, even when no one is with him and everyone ridicules him. That shit makes zero difference to his decision making. Moral compass made of absolute titanium.
Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz.
Shawn Spencer and Gus Burton-Psych.
All I've gleaned from this thread is that everyone has vastly different definitions for what badass means, and I think that's great.
Oh my god, what could it be? We're all doomed. Who's flying this thing? Hoban Washburn, Wash, from Firefly.
Rincewind the Wizzard, he can't spell, from Terry Pratchett's Discworld series is about as much not a badass as it is possible to be.
Andy Dufresne, Shawshank Redemption.
Bluey's dad.
Any character that Rick Moranis played.
Saul Goodman.
Hercule Poirot hands down. Follow up. All the love for Poirot has warmed my heart and made me realize that I am not alone in adoring the fastidious Belgium with an egg-shaped head and marvelous mustaches.
Arthur Dent follow up. Thank you all for the upvotes. Those saying Arthur is indeed a badass should reread. Lying in front of a bulldozer could be badass, but in Arthur's case it was just desperate, thoughtless action which he promptly regretted.
Joel from Santa Clarita Diet. He's constantly an inch or two from falling apart and it's hilarious.
Moss from the IT crowd.
Daniel Jackson, from Stargate SG-1. He kind of became more of a badass in the later seasons, but originally he was the less physically strong / non-military character. His primary strengths were academic accomplishment, cultural / historical expertise, patience and empathy.
Mike Wazowski.
Ben Wyatt.
Bob Belcher.
Ted Lasso. Depending on what you define as tough, Spencer Reed.
Charlie Kelly.
I was thinking Bob from Stranger Things, but then I realize it's pretty much Sean Astin in anything. Edit, what I mean is, he tends to play characters that aren't your typical tough guy, ass-kicking badass, but still are brave and heroic. That's what makes them the best. Plus he's such a likable guy.
Ron Stoppable.
Philip J. Fry.
Abed Nadir.
Charles Boyle. Edit, I love how people have their own Charles moment. As a typical Redditor, I look up to Charles Boyle and try to be like him as a friend and a human being, so that I might get a friend like Charles Boyle. I hope it's not selfish. Thank you for the awards, kind strangers.
Mr. Rogers.
Atticus Finch, though I guess that depends on your definition of badass.
Adrian Monk.
Hank Hill. He's ignorant and old-fashioned, but is not malevolent about it. He may not understand, but he can, with patience, be taught. He struggles with the modern world, but is able to come to terms with the fact that the world he lives in isn't the world he grew up in. About the only thing he absolutely does not tolerate is someone else using their own ignorance and intolerance as a weapon to hurt those he cares about. This he will respond to with a telling off that is more or less gentle depending on intent and degree of harm, or, if absolutely necessary, an ass-kicking.
Hawkeye from MASH, not to be confused with the Archer from the comic books. This Hawkeye is a pacifist doctor in a war. If you have never seen M.A.S.H, I highly recommend it.